Welcome back to the Nerdrotic Podcast. My name is Gary Beekler. I'm live in San Francisco, California, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com. And down in San Diego is my good friend and co-host, Dennis Bethalkis. What is up, Dennis?
Nothing much. How you doing?
Doing great, man. And we also have Susan Layton from 1428elm.com. Good evening, Susan. How are you?
Good evening, guys. I'm fine. Glad to hear you guys are good, too.
We're great. We're here to cover Ash versus Evil Dead, episode 8 of season 3, Rifting Apart. And it was a cool episode. It actually got a lot of things that I liked in it. It reminded me of a couple of movies, actually one, but Susan reminded me of another movie in our very long pre-production meeting tonight, hours long. And
that's why we were late.
That's why we were late. We were getting some dope news. So hello everybody in the chat. We're gonna go over the episode real quick and then we're gonna get right to you.
Hey Gary, before we start, you might want to close a few windows. You're getting a little
it's all right. We'll just keep going, man.
You're a little grainy, that's all.
That's probably my connection.
All right.
So what'd you think of tonight's episode, Dennis?
I liked it. I did. Oh God, what was I going to say? Now I just kind of lost it. Anyway, it was good. What did you guys think?
I thought that it didn't have the emotional impact of the last two, but we can't always have everything amped to 11. But what it did is it basically, so to speak, set the table for the banquet. This was the episode that's getting everything lined up, all the ducks in a row for episode 9 and episode 10. That's pretty much what that function was.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, we started off, actually, I'm just going to start right into it. If you guys don't mind here, unless you wanted to, you already said how you,
dude.
Yeah. Okay. So we start off with the aftermath of the slaughter at the dance. And the cops want Ash, of course, again, for the killing of all these kids at the dance. And him and Pablo are hiding out in the room pretty much right next to the cops there. These are really horrible cops, by the way, at Elk Grove that we found out. I mean, they are really bad cops.
Yeah, well, look at their payroll. I mean, it's Elk Grove. I mean, like Ash is paying the property tax there, which he probably doesn't pay. So, there you go.
Most likely, yeah. And so Pablo and Ash are trying to figure out a way of getting everyone's souls back into their bodies. They figured out that Kelly is being, driven by somebody else right now, and they need to, of course, grab Brandy's body, and they come up with a plan to steal the coroner's wagon, to steal Brandy's body before the coroner gets to him and starts cutting her up.
Yep.
And in the meantime, we see Brandy in the Deadlands. And she ends up meeting up with Dalton. And we see that Dalton is trying to take her over to the theater because he says it's the only safe place that they're going to be at. And we also find out what happens in the Deadlands is that we see a girl from the party that got killed. She ends up getting grabbed by these hands out of the ground and getting sucked down into the ground. Another Sam Raimi movie called Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah, I even messaged you right there, and I'm like, dude, is Drag Me to Hell canon and Ash? That would be so brilliant. And they kind of look like the hands. I mean, I haven't seen Drag Me to Hell since it was in the theater, so I don't know for sure. But I really dug the like slender lady, smoky thing they have rolling around there in Ash Purgatory, whatever it is.
Yeah,
and, the Rift Land or what people on the thing are the upside down from Stranger Things, because Stranger Things invented Purgatory. It also invented Dungeons and Dragons too. Stranger Things invented everything. There was nothing before Stranger Things. Jesus Christ, people. So sorry, that vent aside, that was really, really cool. It made me think of one concept though. It didn't come through, but it would have been cool, is if you're in that kind of purgatory land, like you're still okay. Like your body's okay in reality, but if you do get dragged to hell, that's when they can enter a body and become a deadite. I was like, oh, that'd be cool. They explained the deadite thing, but they kind of didn't. So I don't know. That would have been rad though. They can have that idea if they want.
Yeah, that was actually that's what I got out of it. It was
okay, cool.
Yeah. Once you get dragged to hell, then your body's free game for a demon to enter your body and just play with it however they want to.
See, that's cool. A little explanation of the Deadite, which might have been there before. I honestly can't remember. But,
no, they never did. This actually is a really good kind of insight to how the Deadites work, which is kind of cool. And also gave us a little reason why, some people take a little bit longer than others.
Yeah. No, I thought that was a cool little thing there. And Ash comes up with a plan tonight, like an actual plan.
Kind of
idea of a plan.
An idea of a plan. Yeah, exactly. So they end up taking Brandy's body over to Ashy Slashy's hardware store to take her down to the basement and open up the rift. Is what they're going to do and bring everyone back. But they're trying to figure out how to get there first. And so Pablo says, well, maybe you need to die by evil first. And Ash is like, that's kind of a stupid idea. And he goes, well, you got a better one? So they end up taking that Kandarian dagger. 1, 2, 2.5.
I like before that, though, when Ash was like, oh, it's just, it's like doing a bunch of shrooms. I could do that in my sleep. Oh, druggy Ash. We're talking a lot about drugs on my live stream today. That was a fun scene, but it was also that was a little emotional when Ash was actually taking personal responsibility for something, and they mentioned at the end and that little after the scenes when they're explaining a bit of the episode, where Ash finally takes responsibility for himself, or at least his daughter, and Ash actually tries to become a hero, like for the first time, because he's always the accidental hero. It's either this, I'm doing this for self-defense, or I really want to go to Jacksonville, or it's never about somebody else. And we've got the Ash family now, but he's a little worried about Kelly, but not that worried. But when it's his daughter, he's willing to actually kill himself. And Ash is not, he's not the kind of guy who does this. Okay. This is not why we love Ash. So yeah, that was cool. That was cool. And it works. It definitely works.
Yeah. So, Cuervo Especial. Has stabbed Ash along with Ash's hand too. And I love how he's just kind of sitting there. He goes, okay, you got to remember, come back to the rift. Hefe, you hear me? You there? I love how he's just kind of still talking over his body. And then he hears something going on upstairs and realizes that the body bag is empty. That's an oh shit moment, of course. So he grabs the Kandarian dagger, goes up there. We find out they got the wrong body.
Yes, because Ash didn't bother to check. He had a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, so it's actually the girl who we saw got dragged to hell. That is her that has now been possessed by a Deadite, and she proceeds to beat the crap out of Pablo. I'm sorry?
Oh, I'm sorry. No. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I thought she was the girl, not the one that got dragged to hell, that was the dark-haired, the brunette. But I thought she was the one where Ash sawed her up in the evil Ash in the lobby because she was smoking the cannabis with her boyfriend.
Yeah,
the blonde girl.
Yeah, I think that was her with the pink poofy dress.
You're right.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
Yeah.
No, I think Susan's right, because like the one in the poofy pink dress, she was the one that got killed by Ruby. She's the one who made it through all the way, and then like she's like, "Oh, everybody's dead," and she like ran to.
Oh, that's right.
And then Ruby's all, "Yeah, everybody's dead," and killed her.
Real quick with that, with her dancing partner was Dana Di Lorenzo's baby brother.
Oh God!
It's just FYI, just interesting fact.
And that shows you that nepotism isn't dead in Hollywood, which is good.
No. Hey, baby bro needs work too.
Oh, I know. No, I was just kidding.
I know.
So yeah, I just love the Ash wakes up in the Deadlands there, and the one really weird thing about the Deadlands is you go through doors and you never know where you're going to end up. So you go through the door of the theater and you wind up in the bar, or you go through the door of the hardware store and you end up in the sperm bank. And vice versa. And Ash ends up randomly bumping into Kelly, Brandy, and Dalton. And they're trying to figure out what they need to do in order to get to the portal, and also just basically get down to the basement of Ash's hardware store so they can get where the portal is going to be at. And I love the line where Kelly says, "You got your hand back," and he goes, "Yeah, you'd be surprised how often that happens."
I know, right? How often he gets his hand back and gets doubled with an evil Ash, and it's just that's the show. Okay.
Yeah, I love the nice little quip though on the the similarities of things happening every now and then. That was a nice little aside,
Yes.
to us that, or to the people that have been complaining about it. You know who they are, Susan, right? You've heard them. Yeah. So I love Pablo, how he finally ends up killing the Deadite, though, is stabs her hand down onto the table, sticks her head in the paint shaker, screws it down, and then turns on the paint shaker and just lets it go.
When I was watching that, I'm like, I cannot believe they have not thought of that sooner. That was a good one, and it just went on. I know, right? And on and on and on.
Yeah. I love how he's just kind of standing there, and he's waiting for it, and the head rips off, and he's still just standing there looking at it, and the blood's just splattering him, and he kind of finally reaches over and turns it off. Just kind of flip, It was awesome.
Death by Sherman Williams.
Yes. Exactly. That was a full coat too.
Yeah.
Here all week, Felix.
I am. So they're trying to make it over to the hardware store, and of course they're not going to make it there because they start seeing these things, the shadows popping up out of the ground that usually prelude the hands grabbing you and drag you to hell. So Dalton's going to sacrifice himself, and he runs out there, starts yelling at these things, and Ash finds the Delta and says, "Hey, everyone, let's pile into the Delta." And Kelly's trying to tell him things don't work here. They don't work in the Deadlands. And Dalton ends up getting grabbed, and he's getting dragged down. Kelly's screaming, and we see the hands start grabbing the Delta, and they're starting to drag the Delta down. Ash is trying to start this thing, and it's like, "Rrr, rrr, 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 rrr." He goes, "Come on, baby, come on. You've been, what do you say? You've been more helpful to me than a handful of loom on a Friday night."
Oh.
Yeah, thanks, Ash. And that was a cool scene because it was just hand after hand after hand dragging it down. That looked really good.
Yeah, they did a really good job of that.
And Dalton sacrificed himself. He tells Ash, if you see Ruby, tell her I'll be waiting for her. And then he gets dragged down to hell, basically.
Yes, and Christian, it is called the Bonermobile.
Yes,
as Kelly was calling it. She did not want to die in the Bonermobile.
Nope.
And just as it gets dragged underground, we hear the engine start, and the Delta pops up out of the ground. And I love, he gets out, kind of just fishtails it, and goes straight for the shadow things, which of course disappear.
Yep.
Giving hope to everybody that's there.
Yes, everybody. Actually, there was a couple of the kids from
the prom,
but I mean, like, some of them look like they had been there for a long time. Like, there was that kid with the bow tie. Was he there at the normal prom, or it's
he was at the normal prom?
Yeah, he was the kid that got offed with the blonde prom.
That's right.
Held. Yep.
Yeah. So it's all the prom kids that were there.
Yep.
And so they get inside, they go downstairs, and they're waiting for the for the portal to open. Of course, Ash is going, "Pablo, you only had one job to do. What the hell?" And Pablo, of course, has finally finished killing the Deadite in the hardware store upstairs when he sees the TV flicker on. And here's Ash going, "You only had one job to do." He's like, "Oh, that's right." And he goes running back down, opens up the portal, and we end up getting Brandy. She ends up going through. And Ash turns around, and we see that Kelly cannot make it through. Something's blocking her. And it's probably because her body's being occupied at the moment. So
by Kaya.
By Kaya, yes.
Kaya. Oh my God, Kaya, give me my body back. So she can't get through. So it leads me to believe that, I don't know, maybe Kelly's gonna stay dead, which kind of sucks. Hope not. I was kind of thinking, and it kind of ended there. We got through, and they never leave a man behind. The ghost beaters never leave a man behind.
Exactly.
So they're gonna probably go after Kelly. and we're coming to the end, dude.
Yeah, I did love the last little thing though with Kaya bringing Zoe, the last Sumerian knight that we have, to Ruby, and Ruby's like, no, I've got a use for her. We're gonna use you to rewrite our destiny.
Yeah, she's gonna become Necronomicon Volume 2.
Yes.
Oh, it's not a good way to go.
No, it's not
a good way to go.
I've seen that comic, the Ash versus Evil Dead one, where they've been stripping people and making books out of them, and that looks not that.
Yeah, that's not pleasant at all.
Yeah.
So we are coming to the end. I was always going to clickbait the title for this is just the third to last Ash ever, but it kind of is. I mean, it's with the ratings as low as they are, it's. I'm just going to enjoy these last 3 episodes. I don't hold out much hope, and honestly, I guess this is getting panned by some people. I only go to 1428 Elm. I don't go to those other sites because they're posers. But and because Susan writes so well about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Susan. And you can elaborate more on this, but I'm just gonna enjoy what we have left. And if we get any, I mean, again, I've said this before. I'm surprised we got this, and maybe it's simply that the Ash joke only goes so far. It's a lot like Deadpool. He comes back every 4 or 5 years in the comics, and then his joke gets really, really tired because Marvel burns it into the ground, and then he goes away for a little while. Then he comes back, and I don't know if Bruce Campbell's not a young man. He's not a comic book character, so he can't come back 8 or 9 times. But maybe that's it. Maybe it's simple as that. Maybe it wasn't the delay. Maybe it was just people are, it was for cool first 2 seasons, but maybe some people are over the gag. Maybe they're not as big a Ash fans as they thought they were.
Possibly.
That's always a possibility. Yeah. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a judgment. It just is.
Hey, Susan, you might have some news for us, right?
Yes, I do. Well, I have 2 pieces of news. Do you want the good or the bad first?
Oh, bad.
All right.
Bad, yeah.
We'll get the bad over with. So if any of you of our listeners on the podcast are out there and you have tickets for Bruce Campbell's Last Fan Standing at UC Berkeley, he has moved the date to September and told everybody to contact UC Berkeley about it. It was a very abrupt post on Twitter and his Facebook. It was basically, hey gang, sorry this is happening, but contact UC Berkeley. And my friends that were going to the show said that when they went to Berkeley, there was nothing said. And I also went and checked. He was supposed to have more tour dates as of April 11th for Last Fan Standing, but they were pushed to the end of the month. And now the recent news of this being pushed to September. I know that he's in the past has not, has had stuff come up, and everybody does. But what this is doing is just starting the rumor mill. Not that he's trying to do that, but that's what invariably is going to start to happen with this news. So the people that are understandably upset about not being able to go to this, because a lot of people did the thing where they have hotels and they can't get their money refunded, and so yeah, it's a bit of a mess for some of the fans.
When was it again? Was it coming up pretty soon?
The 21st of this month.
Going to be this Saturday.
This Saturday, that's right. Yes. I think there were tickets still available. I was kind of playing with the idea of going. But yeah, that last minute, it could be a family emergency of some kind. I mean, we can't assume all the time. God, this has happened to me with Dennis Leary. He canceled like the day of. That was a pisser. So we don't want to assume much, but yeah, when you bring it in the perspective of getting the hotel rooms in the Bay Area, which aren't cheap,
right.
at Berkeley, yeah, that's kind of a bummer. That's kind of a bummer. But I don't want, we don't know what happened, but yeah, it's not going to stop people from. I do you think it's related to the show? Do you like in your heart of hearts? Do you think so, or?
You're asking me my opinion on that, and it's hard for me to say because I see the ratings and I see what's happening. And I can almost tell you what's going to happen when I see the ratings tomorrow because TWD had their finale. I see the ratings, but I also understand that if a niche show has fans that are passionate, that start to do all the right things that's necessary to keep a show on the air, things can happen. Miracles can happen. But I don't want people out there like thinking, oh, this is definitely going to be a done deal. We're getting a season 4. The truth of the matter is nobody knows. But when you look at the ratings, it doesn't look promising. And people say, well, they say to me, well, Susan, the app isn't factored in and the Live Plus 7s. No. But even if you factor those in, you have to think logically and mathematically. Are they going to equate to 308,000, which is what we're chasing? Now, in the first season, it was 508,000 total viewers for the whole season. Thus far, we have, season 2 has 308,000. Thus far, we have 184 or 85,000. Now, we only have 2 episodes left. I don't know what this episode's going to bring. That means a fuck ton of people, pardon my language, have to watch this show. And everybody's like, well, yeah, there was a 200,000 drop from season 1 to season 2. But here's the caveat. They already had season 3 okayed. They already approved that, good to go. They didn't get the final, they were hoping probably for more than that. Like I can't speak for Starz. But I do think people should just remain very cautious, enjoy the show. We fought for this show. Everybody that did bring back Boomstick, I want to thank them. We fought the good fight. I'm not, throwing in the towel, but now we need to enjoy it. We need to sit back and go, we tried. Starz heard us. Starz gave us a start date. Yeah, it wasn't ideal, but they heard because the fans wanted it. And we just need to sit back and go, okay, it is what it is, and enjoy Ash because we may not see him again. And we may not see Bruce Campbell for, I don't know, maybe for a couple of years, whatever he decides to do. So I think we should just, enjoy it and not get our hopes up that this is all going to be something. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, that's a good take. Turnout from Weekend of Hell for Ash vs. Evil Dead crew was huge. So international fans out there, this might have helped the Stars. Says Mike Krychuk, yeah. And Mike. Yeah, I don't know. I think Susan has mentioned that they don't count the international numbers, which is crazy.
No, I said that they do, but it's done differently. I don't know the process for it. But here's what happened with the international numbers, and Starz is trying to rectify this. Not every European country gets Starz or even has a platform that's approved that they can get Starz with. For example, in London, you've got Virgin Media. You can also try Amazon and Vimeo, and there are some other things because I had some of those written in my article on downloading alternatives. But not everybody in the UK can see it. Not everyone in Germany can see it. Even down in New Zealand and Australia, if you can't get Stan where you are in Australia, you're not getting the show. It's a matter of distribution of the show that they're trying to rectify now. And it would be nice if they would have had it in all the countries that watch Ash, because Dortmund was such an outpouring of love for all those guys. They're beloved over in the UK, in Germany, in Italy. Italy is another big place. My friend Emmanuel Crivello, he's Dead Italia on Twitter. He runs the Bring Back Boomstick page on Facebook, and he's got a lot of fans and a blog in Italy. He has a lot of fans there too. It's just a shame that Stars didn't have that distribution where they could have targeted those fans. And fans being fans, if they're not getting their show, they're going to do other methods. And that didn't help either. And I'm not coming down on anybody. I'm just stating a fact. So that's what happens. That's what happens with their reigns. The reigns do count. Like I said, I don't know their process because their Nielsen's are different. So that's why I don't get into them. But yeah, that's what the long and short of it is with Europe. And it's a shame.
Well, it just seems like there's more than 100,000 people watching the show to me. I like.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't know where they come up with that number.
Yeah, and we're seeing Christian said that he uses Stan to do this. Christian Selesky says it, and Viking Bitch was saying that she uses the Stars app on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's
No, I didn't mean to interrupt. All I was going to say is that fans also don't understand free trials, because I had some words with the fans this weekend, which made me just want to, punch myself in the face. It was like, you can get, well, we're not going to pay $9 extra on top of whatever figure they gave me that wasn't accurate to get this, to get just one good show. Well, here's the thing. You can get the trial of Stars and pay, get the free trial and then unload it. You can get free trials. Amazon offers them. Roku, a lot, Sling TV, these places to get your business will give you a free trial. So then take the free trial, watch the show, help them get viewers. And then you don't have to stick with it. Even if you decide to purchase it, get rid of it at the end of Ash versus Evil Dead. A lot of my friends do that. They get it through Amazon Prime, which is about $1 or $2 cheaper than it is to get with the Stars app. What they do is they get the show for the season, and then at the end of the season, it's like, bye, done.
Yep.
And then they'll renew when the season comes back. There's so many different ways. And I don't know if the fans understand that. I don't know if they care anymore.
That's what I think it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, I think they understand. The problem is Stars is fragmented in so many places. It gets confusing. And honestly, if you really think about it, it's not a lot of effort to do all this stuff. But then again, it is, because like Ash isn't the only show I'm watching. So I got to go everywhere. Now I do this for our show. But I go through crazy flaming hoops to watch the shows that we cover, because I cut my cable, so I have to do all kinds of nutty stuff to actually pay for this stuff, so I'm not illegally downloading or anything. And actually, people in Europe, you can get a VPN. There's ways to block your IP address and watch things in America, and it's not hard. I can't tell you how to do it, but it's really not hard. But it's an extra step, and it's like, it's not worth it to me anymore. And I think that's where we're at. It's too much work, although it's not really too much work to see a damn show nowadays. And it's not just Ash, it's a lot of stuff. And Stars is in a bad position because they're in this weird transitional where we're about to go fully digital, completely internet based television. We're on our way. It's a few years away at most. And they're stuck in the middle, and a lot of these cable channels aren't going to survive it, period. Amazon, for being on Amazon, they don't. The thing that frustrates me about the Amazon Prime thing is it's still like 2 layers to get into. It's just not as easy as Netflix. Now, maybe Netflix owns the patent on how their menu is set up. That's probably it. But if Amazon would fix that, they could take them on right now. And it was Ash on Netflix for a little while. Is season 1 and 2 on Netflix?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Apple Crow was wondering about syndication. That's funny. If they put Ash vs. Evil Dead in like regular television syndication, it'd be a 5-minute episode.
With all the cuts.
Well, and people keep on bringing this up too. Well, we're just gonna do a petition, and we're just gonna do social media to get Netflix to take it. And then I always have to step in when they throw that at me and be the bad person and say, you do understand there's legalities. This is a Starz property. We can't just move it to Hulu or Netflix. There's lawyers involved. There's different people involved. It's not that simple. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen, but everybody has to be in agreement in order to make that happen. And right now, I wish I could give the interview where I read this, but Campbell said that he doesn't think Starz would be amenable to something like that at this point. I can't speak for him, but like I said, it was in a recent interview that I read, and somebody was asking him that question. No, I think it was in Germany, pardon me, when he had his panel. They don't understand that it's not a matter of doing a Kickstarter, because Kickstarters were floating around. Let's do a Kickstarter to get Ash versus Evil Dead, and then somebody will just do the rest of the episodes. I'm like, the money that you guys would raise, I hate to be the buzzkill, would pay for the caterer. There's so much involved with these shows. It's not an independent film where you can go, you know what? I shot this on my iPhone. I'm going to go do this Kickstarter or Indiegogo, and this is what's going to happen. It's a television show with known entities where you have to buy that property from Rob Tappert, Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, Starz. I mean, one of my friends was going through all those different companies with Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2, to try and get licensing for some things that he was doing, and he said it was a nightmare. So he had to explain to some fans exactly what this stuff entails. It's not as easy. God love them. Their hearts are in the right place, but it isn't that simple, especially from the business end of it.
Yeah, I know Army of Darkness is between like about 4 or 5 different property owners. It's just really, really ridiculously bad.
I think that's what led to all the craziness after season 2 and Di Gregorio leaving, and was it Tappert? It sounded like a total pain in the ass to him. So I understand that. Having had business partners, people have different visions sometimes.
Yeah. Creative differences.
Creative differences. We'll have to leave it with that.
Yeah. Susan Applecrow actually asks, is it better to subscribe or straight up buy the episodes from Amazon?
I think from what I've heard from my friends that are doing that, Applecrow, they subscribe because it depends on what you want. To me, Amazon Prime is one of the things I'm going to be looking at after Ash ends. If you like having a lot of DVD choices, some different offbeat television shows, if you want to get a discount on sending packages and stuff, if you have multi-uses for Amazon, I would say subscribe to it because it is worth it for all those different resources. But if you're just doing it for Ash versus Evil Dead, I would say just, get that outright, although that could be a bit pricey. So it just depends on your personal needs, what you want to do. Like I said, for me personally, Amazon would be, I would subscribe for everything else that it has.
All right, Dennis, have you been hitting the chat? You want to hit the chat a little bit?
Yeah. I've been looking at the chat here. And so a lot of people were talking about, you already talked about Ash and syndication there. Christian Zaleski says, Pablo fight was so epic. The one in the hardware store. Yes, it was. That was actually pretty damn awesome.
No, I love that. That was my favorite part of the episode. This was a pretty good episode. Like I said, these things are perfect at 30 minutes. Like an hour might be too much, to be honest with you, or 45 minutes. I think 30 minutes is just right. I think there's some other shows that could do that.
Yeah. Apple Crow says maybe if we get a season 4, we'll get a good Ash hand episode.
Like a nice hand running around. That'd be funny. That'd be cool. He's like shaking everybody's hand and like helping with, chores or something like that.
Patting him on the back.
Patting him on the back and
doing the thumbs up. Maneuver. Someone's choking. He pats him on the back to get the.
Yeah. That'd be great. Oh man, that's a good idea.
Viking Bitch says, I was so happy to have Kelly back, even for a little bit.
Yeah, you know what? There's Kelly's really a good character, and I'm kind of missed her this season. It feels like she's been shoved aside, which I was kind of worried about with the whole Brandy thing. That Kelly would suffer from this. And when she is on the screen, she owns it. She does her and Pablo are so good. I've said that before, but they are so important to this story because they could have really sucked, folks. They could have been really annoying, like millennial characters, and they're not. Not that all millennials are annoying, just most. No, just kidding. And they weren't. They were cool. And now that, poor Kelly. And then she lost her man down to hell. So
yeah. Viking Bitch says, Dennis, your red wall looks very Twin Peaks. Thank you. This is actually a curtain that's behind me because I'm not behind the red wall that I was sitting in front of because of the plugs. And also it's just uncomfortable to sit in front of the other red wall. So there we go. Apple Crow says Ash versus 1980 Russian hockey team.
Oh my God.
That's about the only thing he hasn't crossed over with in the comic books.
Pretty much.
He's currently crossed over with Kiss. He's fought the Marvel Zombies. He's fought Freddy and Jason.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm forgetting like 5 or 6. Maybe has he met Archie yet? I'm sure that's around.
Probably
not. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ash versus Archie would be great. But he was in a very peripheral way brought into the Marvel universe. It doesn't count anymore because of Secret Wars and everything they've done since then. But he's canon in the Marvel zombie universe, which is, we had a debate about that in our little comic fight, but it's very questionable what is canon anymore in Marvel since Secret Wars. So.
Oh yeah, if they go the DC route, then everything's canon because it all still counts.
Pen Farm Girl, yes, you need that Ash and Kiss comic. It's actually really good. I had to get it on eBay because my comic store didn't get it, and it's too late for me to get it, so I had to go on eBay. Sorry, buddy.
Viking Bitch says, well, at least we have what we have. If the last couple of episodes are this good, Ash will go out like a boss.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
Viking Bitch sums it up as usual. Greatness from Viking Bitch. Real quick, I want to mention our contest because I don't think I mentioned it last week. So here is one of your prizes. Our contest, the prizes are you get seasons 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. All right. Brand new. They're not like a couple of my old copies. You're getting brand new ones. And you're getting the very last thing I ever purchased from a Toys R Us, which is this Ash versus Evil Dead figure, which is badass. It's pretty dope. So Can you see it? Is it not blurry? I know my camera's been blurry tonight.
Yeah.
So.
Every time I see it, it makes me cry inside.
It's so cool. And it's got the lenticular cool little from Ash from season 2. And I'm also going to throw in Ash versus Freddy versus Jason 1 through 6 will be part of your prize pack. That is for my personal collection. So they have been read. That will be part. So all you have to do is be subscribed, leave a comment. Leaving a chat message counts as a comment, and your name will go into a little hat affixed to a number, and we'll pick. It's my bowler hat. Okay, it's actually a $400 hat, for Christ's sake. And then I'm gonna pick a winner on our final episode.
And I was just laughing because Apple Crow said, "I've sold all your souls to Ruby in order to win." Sorry, guys.
Hey, Apple Crow, you got to do what you got to do, bro.
Yeah, I know. You got to make those deals, but remember, they come with a price.
They all come with a price.
Mm-hmm. She might not let you keep all that stuff.
No, be like Needful Things or Friday the 13th, the TV show, or yeah.
I think she's going to use him to rewrite her own destiny.
Every Twilight Zone. Yeah. She might use your skin to write her cookbook.
Yep. Skin and blood.
Yes.
Because you got to have something to write with.
I need a Necronomicon cookbook. That'd be cool.
There is one.
Oh, see that, there I am. I'm sure there is.
Man. Yeah, I made a small one, a little one. This is back when I was in art school. I did. We had to take a actor and turn them into an animal, but still retain the actor. And I did Bruce Hamble.
Ah, nice. That's good.
And I made a little tiny Necronomicon out of leather and some clay and all that stuff. It's actually kind of a cool little book.
But Ham is not an animal. It's part of an animal.
It's a pig. That was his name.
I know. I don't know. Just wanted to fuck with you there, Mr. Semantics.
I'm always up for semantics.
Yes. Oh, dude, I will mute you if you do that again. Yes. So, we're going to wrap this up real quick because our buddy, one of our friends, is going to be starting a live stream. We don't want to step on it at all, but we will be back next week. We'll be back. Hey, Susan, let us know if they ever lift the embargo, because then we can do these like a day earlier. So definitely let us know. If not, we will be back next Monday at 7:30. And Susan will also be joining us every Friday, ladies and gentlemen. That is big news. So it is. The last two podcasts she's been on, it's been amazing.
Yeah, the last one killed. I mean, that was hilarious. If you guys didn't see it, go back and watch it. It's out there. It was funny.
Yeah, it was fun. Good times had by all. We talked about Lost in Space and a bunch of and poor Stan Lee and
Megala Long Dong. Yeah,
Megala Long Dong. How could I forget? Jason Statham versus a Megala Long Dong. You'll have to go back for the context on that one.
Yes.
So, lethal. I'm trying to. Sometimes I see half the conversation. I'm like, what the is he talking about? Then I see it later. It's like, okay, or maybe Apple Crow just has Tourette's. I don't know. We love you, Apple Crow. All I see is Lethal Weapon before Mel Gibson was crazy playing a crazy person. Okay, you're right.
Christian actually asked. He says, "Will it be delivered to Australia if I win?"
Yes. The answer is yes. We had a winner in the Netherlands for Happy. Yes. Bam, who I haven't seen in a while, but Bam was in the Netherlands, and I sent him his package. Yes, I did.
Very cool. So, Susan, do you want to plug 1428 Elm?
Sure. You guys can read my stuff at 1428 Elm, and I've got another special announcement. This is really good news. I've got a surprise for you Ash versus Evil Dead fans, and it's going to be coming either Thursday or Friday. This is something that's pretty exciting. Starz has partnered with me for this. So you want to make sure that you, look at 1428 either Thursday or Friday. On my Twitter handle, it's Susan on the Ledge. I'll be plugging it. You'll see it on my Facebook. It's Susan Layton. So that's the big news for this week. So just stay tuned.
Nice.
Very cool.
I'm excited.
I am too.
Yeah. Tomorrow we'll be back with Legion at 9:15 p.m. Pacific time. Great show.
Nice.
And then The Expanse after that. Dennis, any final words?
I just want to say, condolences to Arlie Ermy, who is also, how does this tie into Ash versus Evil Dead? It doesn't. It ties into Briscoe County Jr. He was Briscoe County Senior. He passed away at the age of 74. He will be missed.
That is very sad. That also reminds me that we're going to be tripping into our VHS and DVD vaults quite a bit over the summer. Okay. Looks like we're gonna be doing Burn Notice.
Yes.
Briscoe County Jr. We're gonna continue with Farscape, Boba Hotep, and another one hit me the other day. I want to do Dreamscape. I love that goddamn movie from 1984. Yeah.
You know what I want to do? Crawl.
We could do Crawl. We could throw that because the summer is kind of light on TV shows, so we're going to be doing that pretty much every summer from here on out. So we got a lot of stuff coming down the pike. And yeah, so we'll if you're into Legion, we'll see you tomorrow night. Yeah, that's it. Take us out, Dennis.
Children of Earth, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Get stabbed in the heart by a deadite with a Kandarian dagger. Wake up in the Deadlands only to be eventually dragged to hell.
May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Say bye, Susan.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, everyone.